You told the court you were an expert. Just tell me what you wanted to ban.
I don't remember the exact definition of assault weapons in the ordinance that was at issue.
And you don't know what, and you said abolish assault weapons, and you don't know what you wanted them to abolish?
I do not remember the characteristics of that were cited in the ordinance for the assault weapons ban.
Probably the least productive member of your district court, isn't that right?
I have not considered myself in those terms, Senator.
Maryland's ban. The case of Bianchi v. Maryland attack weapon ban is one that has been fraught with legal intricacies and contentious arguments, culminating in a Supreme Court review. At its core, the case revolves around Maryland's ban on so-called attack weapons, particularly focusing on whether such arms fall within the scope of Second Amendment protection. The legal saga began with a challenge by Bianchi against Maryland's ban on attack weapons. This ban was previously upheld in a case called Colby, where a district court applied intermediate scrutiny and affirmed the ban. However, on appeal, a divided panel in the Fourth Circuit overturned this decision, stating that these rifles are protected by the Second Amendment and that the ban significantly impairs the right to self-defense within the home.
Starting today, a new gun law is now in effect in Maryland.
The Second Amendment to the United States Constitution, Mr. President, as you well know,
changes and where firearms are still allowed and where they're now forbidden.
While a firearm so equipped would still be regulated by the Gun Control Act.
In response to this unfavorable ruling, the state of Maryland sought a hearing en banc in the Fourth Circuit. An en banc panel upheld the ban, reasoning that since these rifles are useful in military service, restrictions could be imposed on their possession and use without infringing on Second Amendment rights. Bianchi contended that the Fourth Circuit's analysis in the Colby case was flawed and sought to challenge it, leading to the Bianchi v. Maryland attack weapon ban case. Both the district court and a 3-judge panel reviewing the Bianchi case agreed that it should be dismissed based on the precedent set by Colby. Judge Maldonado faces scrutiny. The confirmation hearing for U.S. District Judge Nancy Maldonado, nominated for a seat on the 7th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, became a contentious affair as Republican members of the Senate Judiciary Committee grilled her over various issues, including a backlog of motions in her court, her involvement in law firm's racial justice statement, and a legal brief supporting arm restrictions. The hearing, held on March 19th, saw Maldonado facing tough questioning from Republican senators, particularly Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana, who pressured her on a brief she signed as a lawyer in private practice supporting arm restrictions. Kennedy questioned her understanding of attack weapons, as the brief suggested they could be banned due to their perceived danger. Maldonado clarified that she was not an arm expert and did not write the brief, but merely signed it as local counsel. Kennedy's combative tone highlighted the skepticism and scrutiny Maldonado faced from GOP members. Maldonado's nomination by President Joe Biden to fill a vacancy on the Chicago-based appeals court was met with mixed reactions, while Senator Dick Durbin, the Illinois Democrat and chairman of the committee, praised her as the first Hispanic Article III federal judge in Illinois. Republicans expressed reservations and launched pointed inquiries into her background and affiliations. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina questioned Maldonado about any connections to Demand Justice, a progressive group advocating for Supreme Court reform. Maldonado admitted to reaching out to the group's leader for information on the confirmation process, but denied any substantive involvement with the organization. Graham also interrogated her about a statement from her former law firm supporting racial justice, which criticized former President Trump. Maldonado distanced herself from the statement, stating it was political speech and inappropriate for her to opine on it as a sitting judge. Other Republican senators, including Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, focused on Maldonado's backlog of pending motions, questioning her management of time and caseload. Blackburn highlighted Maldonado's ranking as 7th highest nationally among district court judges, with civil motions pending for more than 6 months. Maldonado attributed the backlog to inheriting hundreds of cases and motions when she assumed the bench amid the challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite facing intense scrutiny, Maldonado defended her record, emphasizing the care and thoughtfulness she brings to her decision-making process. She pointed out that none of her decisions had been overturned by a higher court, a testament to her diligence and competence. According to Durbin, the confirmation hearing underscored the partisan divide over judicial nominations and the rigorous vetting process nominees undergo.
Federal District Court Judge Nancy Maldonado, nominated to the Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit.
Was with gratitude and awe for the opportunities that have been made available to me in our country.
Some aspect of the law or some legal precedent. How often do you run into that?
All the time, Senator.
I want to talk about one of President Biden's nominees to be on the federal bench.
Maldonado's nomination remains a subject of debate, while Republicans scrutinizing her background and record, while Democrats rally to her defense. As her nomination moves forward, the outcome will likely hinge on political dynamics and the balance of power in the Senate. Assessing judicial nominees. During her confirmation hearing, Circuit Court nominee Nancy Maldonado faced questioning from Senator John Kennedy regarding her stance on Illinois attack weapons ban. Maldonado had previously signed a brief supporting the ban, arguing that such weapons could be deemed too dangerous for self-defense. However, when pressed by Senator Kennedy to provide a definition of attack weapon, Maldonado admitted that she was not an arm expert and could not recall the exact definition. The exchange between Senator Kennedy and Maldonado shed light on her apparent lack of familiarity with the term attack weapon, despite her advocacy for banning them. Kennedy pointed out the contradiction in Maldonado's position, highlighting that she had signed a brief calling for the abolition of something without fully understanding what it entailed. This raised questions about Maldonado's depth of understanding and the consistency of her legal arguments. Senator Kennedy's line of questioning underscored the importance of clarity and precision in legal advocacy, particularly when advocating for policy changes with significant implications. Maldonado's inability to articulate a clear definition of attack weapon called into question the basis of her argument and raised doubts about the validity of her position. The term attack weapon itself is subject to debate and interpretation within the context of arms regulation. While there is no universally accepted definition, it generally refers to semi-auto arms with certain features.
You told the court you were an expert. Just tell me what you wanted to ban.
I don't remember the exact definition of assault weapons in the ordinance that was at issue.
And you don't know what, and you said abolish assault weapons, and you don't know what you wanted them to abolish?
I do not remember the characteristics of that were cited in the ordinance for the assault weapons ban,
such as detachable mags, pistol grips, and barrel shrouds that enhance their tactical capabilities. However, the specifics of what constitutes an attack weapon can vary depending on the jurisdiction and the laws in place. Maldonado's failure to provide a coherent definition of attack weapon during her confirmation hearing highlighted the complexity surrounding arm control issues and the challenges faced by policymakers and legal experts in navigating them. Without a clear understanding of the term she was advocating against, Maldonado's argument lacked substance and credibility, undermining her credibility as a judicial nominee. Senator Kennedy's questioning also raised broader concerns about the role of expertise and knowledge in shaping legal decisions and public policy. In complex and contentious areas such as arm control, it is essential for policymakers and legal professionals to have a deep understanding of the issues at hand to develop effective and well-informed solutions. Maldonado's inability to articulate a clear understanding of attack weapons called into question her qualifications and suitability for a judicial position. Furthermore, the exchange between Senator Kennedy and Maldonado highlighted the need for rigorous scrutiny of judicial nominees and their positions on significant legal and policy matters. Judicial appointments have far-reaching implications for the interpretation and application of laws, making it crucial to thoroughly assess the qualifications and competence of nominees.
President Biden has nominated some people to the federal bench who, quite frankly, are not qualified. Probably the least productive member of your district court, isn't that right?
I have not considered myself in those terms, Senator.
Maldonado's lack of clarity and understanding regarding attack weapons raised doubts about her ability to impartially adjudicate cases involving arms regulation. Overall, the exchange between Senator Kennedy and Nancy Maldonado during her confirmation hearing underscored the importance of clarity, expertise, and knowledge in legal advocacy and policy making. Maldonado's inability to provide a coherent definition of attack weapon called into question the validity of her position and raised concerns about her suitability for a judicial role. The incident serves as a reminder of the complexity surrounding arm control issues and the need for informed and thoughtful decision-making in addressing them. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.